Right now, we're pulling back the curtain on what could be the biggest media scandal of 2025. When a former FBI director posts a seemingly innocent beach photo with a cryptic caption, "Why do intelligent veterans suddenly go dark?" What's the real meaning behind the number 86 that has Washington insiders in a panic? The answers connect the dots that nobody's talking about. By the end of this report, you'll understand why certain power players are desperately trying to keep this story buried. And wait until you hear what our sources just revealed about the CBS payout. The implications will leave you speechless. Keep watching. And speaking of media scandals, let's talk about another cover-up, the truth about aging. While they push expensive creams and treatments, one simple solution is being ignored. A groundbreaking 2024 study shows that specific types of collagen can dramatically transform your skin's appearance. That's why I trust this multi-collagen formula. It's backed by real science, not hype. Visit healthwithgary.com to get 51% off during our special promotion. Plus, you'll receive free VIP health coaching and our exclusive skincare guide. Don't let them hide the truth about looking younger naturally. So right now we're going to expose the Kids Day press antics that happened at the White House, billion-dollar settlements, Kamala's celeb cash, CBS in meltdown, and Trump's vow to smash waste, fraud, and abuse. Patriots deserve the receipts. Well, we're going to break it all down for you. Now, it started with President Trump on the South Lawn, just outside the White House doors, breaking into the YMCA groove while a Marine band pounds the beat. Kids screaming, cameras whirling, pundits scowl, joy wins. Watch the flags ripple. A beautiful moment today at the White House. What's equally beautiful is watching kids ask the press secretary questions. Caroline Leavitt fielding a kid's ice cream query in today's briefing. But we're going to flash back to 2024 when credentialed adults asked Biden the exact same question. Legacy press proving its kid table status. Watch the mashup and taste the melted credibility. Here's the moment in the press room. It's adorable.
Policy. Is that your mommy? Your mommy is a great journalist. What's your question?
What's Donald Trump's favorite ice cream? He wants to know.
Ooh. I have seen the president eat ice cream sundaes before with chocolate sauce and some toppings too. Raise your hand if you like ice cream sundaes. It's a very popular policy position to have. Yes, very good. Is that
okay,
your mom?
now let's take a look at this moment from 2024. See, the irony here is you've got kids asking the press secretary a question about ice cream. You expect that from children. You don't expect that from credentialed press. Joe Biden, 2024.
Chocolate chip.
Oh,
yeah.
What is your message?
Chocolate chip. Yeah. What kind of ice cream are you eating there, Joe? And now we have this, the fraud buster plan in action. Trump reduces Medicaid reform to 3 simple words: no waste, fraud, or abuse. Bureaucrats are freezing as plain English foreshadows audits, clawbacks, and indictments. Think welfare reform on fiscal steroids. Taxpayers finally hear a promise with teeth.
Democrats, here's what I want on Medicaid. We're not touching anything. All I want is one thing. 3 words. We don't want any waste, fraud, or abuse. Very simple. Waste, fraud, abuse. Other than that, we're leaving it. Medicare, we're leaving it. All we're after, and this is for the good of it, there's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. That's all we're doing. We're not touching it. The Democrats are going to destroy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unity and strength. Holes in the Capitol step. Trump hails Speaker Johnson, the iron unifier who kept a 1-vote majority alive for 5 gritty months. Pundits predict a collapse. America First answered every roll call. Even CNN anchors whisper, how'd he do it?
We have a very, very united party. This man has And so have you, Lisa. But this man has done a fantastic job. He's a real unifier. I don't think anybody else could have done it. We had, I just said to your cohorts downstairs, we had a majority of one for a period of 5 months. And he kept it together, and we actually passed things. And nobody else could have done it. He's done a fantastic job as Speaker. We have a very, very unified party. Remember, we had 1, and now we have 7. We won elections. And we're going to win a lot of elections. The economy is big. I just had my highest poll numbers ever. And we had a big trip to the Middle East. We took in $5.1 trillion. We brought it back to our country. 180 Boeing aircraft are being built now because of that trip, and many other things. That's the least of it. The economy is doing great. The stock market's higher now than when I came to office, and we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariff money, and we've had no inflation. You know, they kept saying inflation. There's no inflation. Groceries are down. Gasoline is way down. Everything is down. All energy costs are down. I'll tell you, to me, maybe the most respected thing, you saw the way they respected me between Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, probably the richest, certainly the richest of their type nation, great places, unbelievable amounts of money. They respect our country again. They were going to go to China. China was going to take over those countries 100%. They were dealing with China because they weren't treated right by the last administration. And they have tremendous economic power. They have more money than anybody. We probably have more money, but we have other things. They are very, very cash rich, to put it mildly. And they're spending 5.1 trillion. Probably it's going to be 7 trillion by the time we stop. And somebody said every other president goes and leaves and spends money, gives other countries money. I'm the only one that goes and takes money back. When you think of it, I said that's an interesting statement. I never thought of it that way. But we have this is really just a pep talk. We have a very unified House, and we have a very unified Senate. And Mike is doing a phenomenal job as Speaker. He's going to be there a long time. And we have a man in the Senate, our leader, Thune. Mr. Thune is doing a great job. I've gotten to like him a lot, and he's doing a fantastic job. Between the two guys, very different personalities, actually, in certain ways, but they are doing a fantastic job. I don't think the Republican Party has ever been so unified. It's become a much bigger party. We have a
Trump the unifier. Results rewarding policy. Trump's vows disaster aid will bolster states run by results-driven governors, not bankroll leaders torching their own streets. Performance replaces pity. Zero-based budgets loom for failures. Main Street cheers. Accountability at last, folks.
We're going to make a couple of tweaks. I mean, we don't want to benefit Democrat governors, although I would do that if it made it better, but they don't know what they're doing. We don't want to do any damage to a state. We want to help all the states, but we have governors that are from the Democrat Party, let's say New York, Illinois, big ones, and let's say Gavin Newsom, who's done a horrible job in California. We want to benefit the company. We want to benefit Republicans because they are the ones that are going to make America great again. The Democrats are destroying our country, and you see that with the past administration, with an open borders policy that allowed 21 million people into our country, and many of those people are stone-cold murderers, killers, and trouble. Yeah.
The last word he was about to say. Threat cost warning. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino breaks down how Comey's coded 86 stunt spawns pricey copycat probes nationwide. Each subpoena, stakeout, overtime hour, taxpayers pay the explosive tab. When at least flirt with menace, the bill arrives in overdraft nationwide. What Bongino's saying is that after Comey posted that, all of a sudden copycats were popping up all over the country. He says, we're dealing now with copycats, sending cryptic threats to public figures using the 86 reference. Thanks, Jim Comey. Whether they turn out to be legitimate threats or not, taxpayer-funded public safety agents are going to have to run these all out and investigate them. This is a reminder of the damage self-serving individuals with a history of extremely poor judgment can do when they fail to control their impulses. Speaking of Jim Comey, now he is the martyr. MSNBC lets James Comey lament cameras on his beach stroll. After leaking and dodging subpoenas, he now sells pity over footprints in the sand. The public sees theater, not tragedy. Ratings sink faster than memos rose. Drama for ratings nationwide. Listen to this guy. Oh my goodness, this is priceless.
Back towards.
You are back in the middle.
I mean, playing the victim card.
You are back in the middle of a political firestorm.
Yeah, for walking on the beach with my wife. So I don't know how we ended up here. It never occurred to me that it was any kind of controversial thing, but that's the time we live in.
I was just walking on the beach with my wife, just enjoying a stroll. The sand between my toes, under my feet, holding her hand. It's a beautiful day. And then I stumbled upon a cryptic message. This guy.
Take me back to the walk on the beach.
We were walking on the beach. We went to the beach to prepare for this week, which was the launch of my book, and to think about the book and to prepare to answer questions about it. And we were walking back towards the road, and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells with numbers. And Patrice, my wife, said, "Why would someone put an address in the sand?" And I said, "I don't know." And we stood over it, and I said, "I think it's some kind of like political message." And she said, 86, when I was a server, she did a lot of work in restaurants, meant to remove an item from the menu when you ran out of ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place. I said, that's really clever. So then she said, you should take a picture of that. And I did. And I posted it on my Instagram account and thought nothing more of it until I heard through her that people were saying it was some sort of a call for assassination, which is crazy. But I took it down. Even if I think it's crazy, I don't want to be associated with violence of any kind.
Okay, so taking apart this thing for a second, he literally admits that he knows what 86 meant.
Ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place.
But you couldn't figure out what 47 meant? Right. Your nemesis? The 47th president of the United States, that number didn't even cross your mind? Give me a break. Oh, by the way, I'm selling the book. The Revenge Tour ignites. This was great. Oh my goodness, this is probably one of the greatest clips I've ever seen of Trump. Oh, this is so good. We always wondered about the timeline of when he knew he was going to run again. I think he knew it from the moment. But this gives us a little more perspective of what was going on in that time. President Trump jokes that he'd be golfing if 2020 hadn't been rigged, promising to shove it up their ass with record wins instead. Listen to this.
And we got the Olympics, and then we got through Johnny, who's the boss. He's a friend of mine. We got the World Cup. I got them both, and I said, man, I won't be president. I got the Olympics and the World Cup, and I won't be president. And they're going to forget that I got them. Nobody's going to mention it because, a little bit, that's the way life is. And then they rigged the election. And then I said, you know what I'll do? I'll run again, and I'll shove it up their ass. And that's what I did. And all of a sudden, I then realized, I said, you know what? I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup, and I got the 250th. Look at the way this works out. So if they would have left us alone and wouldn't have cheated on the election and wouldn't have rigged it, I would have been retired right now. I would have been happily doing something else. And instead, they have me for 4 more years. Can you believe it? Yeah. So it has it.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. He would be retired right now. He'd be hanging out at his golf clubs. But nope, they had to rig the election, and now they've got to deal with him for this time. Oh, it's glorious. The Deep State Game. This is great. MAGA Meme Wizards parody shows spooks playing election submersion simulator. Watch this. I love this. When I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is like that movie War Game. Remember that movie War Game? Matthew Broderick? Classic 80s.
Shall we play a game?
How about
global thermonuclear war. Global thermonuclear war. No. Let's play Election Submersion Simulator 2024.
By June, the Trump campaign knew. The data showed a landslide. So did the deep state. With assassinations failed, Plan B was activated.
Analyzing survivable versus catastrophic outcomes. Deploying strategic time waste. Initiate false fights. Sacrifice pawns.
Pick fights you don't mind losing. Waste their time. Waste their momentum. Ever wonder why victories are dragged out for years? Why Dems fight to the death for MS-13, even when they know it's a loser?
Would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. We are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear.
We're not going to cooperate. We're not going to ask our police force to serve as ICE agents.
We're going to have to lead a much larger movement against this future president. The city of Los Angeles will not participate in any collaboration with ICE.
Congressman Maxine Dexter here, coming to you from El Salvador. I flew here last night with 3 of my colleagues to demand that Kilmar Abrego Garcia be released.
It's not about beating Trump. It's about running out his clonk. Doge was this close to unlocking everything until the lawsuits buried it. It's not a mistake, it's a strategy.
No path to victory, only delay, delay, delay.
A strange game. The only winning move is not to let them play.
Dude, I don't know how those guys do it, man, but they really kick butt with all the videos and memes they put out. But let's move on to that jet. Remember that 747? Colonel Buzz Patterson, who actually flew Air Force One, debunking the entire Qatar gift narrative. Obama inked upgrades. Biden secured the loaner. U.S. crews installed the tech. Taxpayers saved $400 million. Blue checks yell bribe for 48 hours. Facts landed. Headlines vanish. Meltdown guaranteed. Now, this is a long post. But I think how he lays it out is crystal clear. So the Democrats continue to beat the drum that Trump is being gifted a 747 from Qatar. It's a lie. Here are the facts. The Qatar B-747 was built in the U.S. by Boeing. They're offering a newer 747 to replace one of the 2 current Air Force Ones that have been flying for 40 years, which are tired and need to be replaced. I mean, take this from the pilot of the plane. The wing base at Andrews has also purchased aircraft from other countries in the past, which are currently flying our VP and senior government officials. This is nothing new. The acquisition contract with Boeing to replace the older jets was initiated by Barack Obama 10 years ago. Boeing is woefully behind with no firm delivery date in the future. So in the meantime, the old 747s, there are 2, continue to fly. As a stopgap measure, the Biden administration, yes, Biden, began negotiations with Qatar to acquire one of their 747s. Qatar agreed and now are offering the jet to the U.S. military, not Donald Trump. Modifying a future AF-1 is not a simple or cheap proposition. It will take a few years. The DoD contractor is based in the U.S. In fact, my dad, Patterson's father, a retired Air Force general, used to work for them. They are, not unironically, also working to upgrade the FAA technology as we speak, Newark and elsewhere. They will get the aircraft and perform all the security and the installation of the systems that AF-1 requires to safely move our president around the world. Not the Qataris. And you and I will pay for that, but not the $400 million the 747 would normally cost. I could tell you exactly what is required to modify the AF-1 for safe flight, but that is top secret. We'd never trust a foreign government to do that. This Air Force One will serve the sitting president, whether they be Republican or Democrat, until Boeing gets their shit together to complete the new upcoming improved 747s that started under Obama, was renegotiated under Trump, and was completely ignored by the Biden administration. So here we are. The Trump library has requested the AF-1 through the National Archives after he leaves office. It'll be one of the old ones, and it won't be flown by Trump. It will be a static display, just like the old AF-1 hanging at the Reagan Library. So Patterson lays it out in black and white. It was Obama and Biden. Obama initiating the first contracts and Biden initiating the negotiations with Qatar. Now let's hear what the Treasury Secretary has to say. He flips the jet narrative. Qatar's $100 billion Boeing orders equal U.S. paychecks coast to coast. France gave Lady Liberty. Qatar gives purchase orders. Every rivet means a mortgage paid. Globalist outrage can't cancel payroll.
I'm not sure they...
You're a hard-nosed businessman. Even if Qatar isn't asking for anything in return now for the jet, I mean, that's a bill that could come due. Nobody in the Middle East gives things just to, or anywhere in the world, just gives a $400 million jet just to be nice.
Well, I don't know, Jake. The French gave us the Statue of Liberty. The British gave us the Resolute desk. I'm not sure they asked for anything in advance. And the more important airplane deal was there's $100 billion of orders from Qatari Airlines to Boeing. Kelly Ortberg, the CEO of Boeing, was with us in the Middle East. This is the biggest order in the company's history. So, I think that plane deal is much more important than this other one.
Well, I will just say about the Statue of Liberty, I mean, that was authorized by Congress, and it belongs to the American people. It doesn't belong to whoever was president at the time.
Well, I think that this plane would be a gift to the American government.
You're a hard-nosed businessman.
Oh, and then we go into this. Laura Loomer dropping some bombshell FEC documents. Kamala Harris wired Alanis Morissette $95,000 after Election Day. It was labeled as catering. I'm sorry, but guitars don't serve crudettes. Cash for clout disguised as hors d'oeuvres signals super PAC shenanigans with huge vocal range. Yeah, Laura Loomer posting receipts as usual. Alanis Morissette, I voted. Yeah, how much did she pay you for that vote? Some of these receipts, you can see them right here. Harris for president, event production and site rentals. This might be a little hard to read. I'll see if I can zoom in for you. This is the actual filing. Harris for president, Epiphany Productions, event production and site rentals, and catering, food and beverages. $88,000 and nearly $7,000 paid to Alanis Morissette. Here's more. State of California, statement of information on the corporation. Who runs Epiphany? Alanis Morissette, right there. Yeah, we're going to keep digging up more crap following that money trail, and so was President Trump. Oh, he was on a tear. 1:34 a.m., Truth Social post, Trump demands receipts for Springsteen, Oprah, Bono payouts. Hype fees or hush fees. DOJ raids MAGA SWAT, yet ignores celeb checks. Congress sharpening subpoenas. Kamala HQ braces for relentless forensic accounting fireworks. President Trump. How much did Kamala Harris pay Bruce Springsteen for his poor performance during her campaign for president? Why did he accept that money if she's such a fan, if he's such a fan of hers? Isn't that a major and illegal campaign contribution? What about Beyonce? And how much went to Oprah and Bono? I'm going to call for a major investigation into this matter. Candidates aren't allowed to pay for endorsements, which is what Kamala did under the guise of paying for entertainment. In addition, this was a very expensive and desperate effort to artificially build up her sparse crowds. It's not legal for these unpatriotic entertainers. This was just a corrupt and unlawful way to capitalize on a broken system. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He keeps going. Insiders whisper Beyonce bankrolled $11 million for a 60-second Kamala plug. No song, just politics. Codename Project Halo, signed after primary turnout catered. If this isn't an undeclared super PAC, FEC better spell why quickly. Hive buzz intensified. Here's more from Trump on Truth Social. According to news reports, Beyonce was paid $11 million to walk onto a stage, quickly endorse Kamala, and walk off to loud booing for never having performed not even a song. Remember, the Democrats and Kamala illegally paid her millions of dollars for doing nothing other than giving Kamala a full-throated endorsement. This is an illegal election scam at the highest level. It's an illegal campaign contribution. Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, Bono, and perhaps many others have a lot of splaining to do. So he's calling for an investigation. Yeah, retribution is a bitch. And speaking of retribution, fake news pays. Sources say CBS is readying a $30 to $50 million check to dodge discovery over 60 Minutes edits. Execs dread the Slack logs proving malice, so they cut paper before depositions roll. When lies meets lawsuits, balance sheets gush red ink, bleeding credibility forever. And here is Jake Tapper. He tweets, a source close to negotiations tells me Paramount CBS could settle with President Trump for as much as $30 to $50 million. He was quote tweeting Alex Sherman. He says, I've got a lot more detail on Winnie McMahon stepping down from CBS News. She didn't quit on her own. CBS co-CEO asked for her resignation on Saturday. There have been weeks of increasing tensions between the Paramount board over 60 Minutes programming. Network surrender. CBS axed President Wendy McMahon dangled $20 million hush case as Trump's colossal $10 billion defamation suit looms. Stock slides, morale tanks, and viewers bolt for alt media where context isn't clipped. The reckoning is televised live and uncut for history. Oh, and we might as well just play this because this is part of history. The raw 60 Minutes tape hits the net. Splicing CBS edits against the full 47-minute exchange. Sunlight torches the narrative. Side by side, watching the trust migrate instantly.
Or a result of many things.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister...
That's a really expensive edit. $20 to $50 million. Who made that call? Who made that call? Was it Kamala Harris? People putting pressure on 60 Minutes? Man, heads are rolling. Heads are rolling over there. Literally. CBS is done. But if you want the real news, you got to follow us. If this deep dive armed you against corporate spin, smash follow and join Next News Frontline. We hold White House hard pass credentials. Stand front row at briefings and drop receipts. The Beltway berries. Stick around. Disappointment is not on the schedule. There is yours truly at the White House. So the pieces all fit together now, right? Coordinated effort to manipulate public perception, billion-dollar settlements in the works in a deliberate attempt to maintain control of the narrative. But here's the real question that should keep all of us up at night. If they're willing to go this far to cover up this story, what else are they hiding? What other scandals are lurking beneath the surface waiting to be exposed? Leave your theories in the comments below because your opinion matters. And make sure you head to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com because real news deserves real support. You'll find it linked in the description.